what I want to recognize here is to inspire that younger generation that they can do it too. Share what you had within here so that the world can receive it and be inspired by it, because we all have gifts to share. Because it's your time.
Romeo of Collective Hustle, hello and welcome to So Jannelle. You gave me a hard time planning what segment to put you in, because you're one part so inspiring, because everything that you've done, from speaking to writing a book and traveling the world to speak, to also now being so hot like an in-demand speaker. And everything that you're doing is so cool and with Collective Hustle and with TFC. So I don't know, what do you think?
I'm just trying to follow the flow of life, especially during this time right now, because there are many things going on, and I'm just utilizing what I have within here and sharing it with the world, as well as utilizing the community and abs-cbn to make that greater impact out there.
Right. See, Romeo, you didn't set out to do what you're doing now, right? You had a different path for yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
For sure. So I grew up in the Bay Area. In high school, I was into, let me back up a little bit. I was really into like dancing and breakdancing and Michael Jackson. And then high school came, I was into sports, football and volleyball. But inside my heart during high school, I wanted to do theater, right? I wanted to perform, but I didn't. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of not being good enough, or just trying that new thing. Fortunately, after high school, I took my first acting class, and there was an audition for a play, and I asked my teacher, should I audition for it? And she said these words that changed my life. She said, "Romeo, you won't know if you don't go." As we know, life happens. You get the rejection, or an obstacle comes your way. And so I learned these principles over time, and continuing to practice these principles that has allowed me to just take life little by little, next step to the next step, so that I can live out my greatness. And along the way, I've met a lot of amazing people. What I have in here is meant to be shared out with the world, and that's part of my mission. And that goes on to working with abs-cbn and creating Collective Hustle, so that we can make a great impact with the Filipino community.
See, I know you don't fit in any of those segments. You deserve your own segment. We're going to call it So Hustle.
There you go.
It's always hustling. Tell us about Collective Hustle. First of all, congratulations on the launch of Collective Hustle. And I know that it's in part with abs-cbn, the Filipino channel. Talk to us about that. For those who are not familiar, what is it?
Collective Hustle is an initiative, or should I say a movement.
A revolution.
A revolution, that's right, of abs-cbn that aims to uplift Filipino-American creators, innovators, leaders, artists, entrepreneurs, and change makers through content, storytelling, and community building. And we have 4 pillars that are the foundation of Collective Hustle. It's collaboration over competition. Community is our strength. Inspiring and educating, and empowering the emerging. And so we use those 4 pillars so that we can elevate the community, the generation now, as well as the generations to come.
2 things that stood out: entrepreneurs and leaders, entrepreneurship and leadership. Why is it important for you to highlight those stories?
Traveling all around the country and having these different industry leaders and influencers that are Filipino descent, helped me realize that there are so many people doing amazing work that I didn't know about. And I think it's important for us to recognize those people and put them to the forefront, because while we see a lot of people that are music artists or have their own business, and we see their face constantly, there are many people working behind the scenes in so many different fields. And some of these people might have a lot of followers. Some of them might have little followers, but their company is doing, an impact that's just beyond my imagination. And so helping the world see that Filipinos are doing great things, and the difference we're making along the way. And most importantly, what I want to recognize here is to inspire that younger generation that they can do it too, right? And why not understand their stories so that you can accelerate your process to getting into whatever field you want to get into.
Right. Because no one becomes successful in just one day. No one becomes successful overnight. It's a hustle, right? And
That's
that's
right.
why it's collective hustle. Why is it spelled with a K?
Very good question. So, first of all, number one, to my knowledge, using the K is used within the culture itself. And number two, it's something just to do it a little bit different. Yes, we could have went with a C, right, and added the hustle. But as Filipinos, we like to add our own flavor to different things, whether it be through food, through our artistry, through our business. And so being able to not stand out per se, but do it differently. And then I also want to recognize the word hustle. There can be that negative, energy around hustle. Like, I gotta go after it. I'm not supposed to sleep. No, we also want to redefine that word hustle, because we as individuals are hardworking, and at the same time we value family. We come back to where our parents came from and their parents and what they've done to get to where we are today. And so it's everybody has different definitions of hustle. Like in my show, Hustle with Purpose, I asked them, what does hustle mean to you? And I've gotten so many different answers that helped me realize new awakenings on what that term means. And so that also puts into perspective of, just because I have one way of looking at something, somebody else will have their own interpretation of it. And that's how we learn from each other, to understand everybody's perspective, and that we're not trying to up each other, but to learn from each other, because that's how we grow. That's how we expand our greatness, if you will.
I love that. And also an important factor to expanding our perspective is really understanding, seeking to understand, not to judge, right? Because when you judge, you just,
Yes.
that's it. But then I like that collective hustle, because then you're also talking about, you're right, community, collective. Because
That's
also
right.
another thing, no one becomes successful just on his own. It's a
Mhm.
collective effort, right?
That's 100% it. Success doesn't happen alone. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. And whatever conference, whatever influencer or leader we brought on stage, every single person, we all know this, has allowed, whether it be family, business partners, or their community, to help them grow into their next stage or expand their greatness in their endeavor. And so recognizing that you don't have to do it alone. And I think because we hear the word hustle, people think we have to do it by ourselves. That word collective is so important, that we're here for you. I think
Right.
that's
So we're all
important to point out.
hustlers.
Yes, in
And
our own right.
that's so funny, because I never thought of that term as a negative. That's
Yeah, it's
I
so
didn't realize. I'm learning
interesting.
that. Yeah, because hustle
Right.
to me is something that, you hustle, you go for it, because you don't, right?
Right.
Like,
No, I totally feel the same way. Like, no, you have to put in the work. I can't just say I want to do this and then just wait for that opportunity. But I think another way of how people put the spin of negativity around it is not sleeping, not taking care of
not taking
yourself.
care of yourself. Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right,
So
right,
being able to take care of yourself in the process, in the hustle.
right. Now, hassle is different than hustle. Strive to hustle, not to hassle. That's the negative.
That's good. We're not trying to be a collective hassle,
That's not hassle. Yeah,
a
we're
collective hustle.
right. So
That's good. We're not trying to be hasslers, but
no, we're
hustlers.
hustlers, not
That's
hustlers.
that's so good. I've never heard anybody say that. I
See,
love
you should
that.
have me on your show.
I know,
Yeah.
100%. I would love you to. Yes, of course.
Uh, anyway, with that said,
Uh-huh.
uh, could you share some of your favorite personalities and some of their stories?
Yeah, for sure. So there are so many. One that comes to mind is Angelia Trinidad. She's the founder of the Passion Planner. She graduated from UCLA in art and had a minor in arts education. And, you know, after that, she was going through depression, like just trying to like just find her direction in life, and for her to really grab hold of that action cures fear. She, you know, had this idea of creating the passion planner, a paper life coach, if you will, in her parents' garage. And so for her to just put that out there in the world, and, you know, she did this Kickstarter campaign and she produced results over time. And one thing to note is that it's helped like more than 1.5 million people. It's a multi-million-dollar company. And one thing that I saw how she was like just so proud of based on her hustle is, you know, being able to take care of her employees, giving them insurance. So it isn't so much like, yes, I created that passion planner, but what I did to help my employees, and more importantly, the impact that she created to help others achieve their goals through the simple, you know, gift of a planner. Another person that comes to mind is Joey Gila,
Mhm.
comedian. He was a former hairdresser
Mhm.
in Beverly Hills, and, you know, got into comedy. And along the way, he also, you know, battled through cancer, right? And so one thing that he really um, is aligned with is healing through laughter. And so while he does it to, you know, do his tour, like he was featured in Joe Coy's In His Elements, every time I talk to him, he's just so connected to just making at least one person smile. And you will see, if you follow Joey, he's just naturally that way. It's not a front. He's just a goofball, but it comes from such a heart and loving space. And so being able to recognize that these individuals, among many, are there to really make an impact, to help others, to serve others, and to follow that calling that's, you know, gifted within us.
Right. I like your hustle.
Right.
Anyway, we did have a scheduled interview with Angelia. The week that shelter-in-place orders were put in March.
Oh, wow.
But
You got
yeah,
to bring
I've
her
heard
back
of
on.
her. I know Joey, of course. I interviewed him in my former show. But yeah, amazing people, and I like that we're highlighting our own stories,
That's
right?
correct.
Because we don't need to wait for mainstream outlets to pay attention to us, because just within us there are a lot of stories that we can champion.
That's exactly it. And, you know, as ABS-CBN, as Collective Hustle, you know, we, like you mentioned, we have the opportunity to create that platform, to create those opportunities while we might wait for those other opportunities that you potentially might want from, you know, different companies or studios. But why not utilize the platforms that exist among us, because it's there to serve you. I love our people. I just
Yeah,
gotta say
exactly. Yeah, no,
that.
don't. I mean, gone are the days when you stop waiting for the phone to ring. You make the call. You pick it up and you make the call, right?
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do here. Thank you so much, Romeo, for sharing your time with us. And this was a fun interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to connecting more with you. So be sure to follow us at collective_hustle, and check out our website at collectivehustle.com, where we have, you know, inspiration, opportunities, programs to elevate this younger generation and the now generation.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much once again, and mabuhay. More power to
Mabuhay.
you. All right,
Mabuhay.
bye-bye.